January 27, 2025. The White House. President Trump signs an executive order that will fundamentally change the strategic balance of power. Not another weapon system. Not another hypersonic missile, a shield. The most ambitious missile defense architecture since Reagan's Strategic Defense Initiative. Only this time, the technology is not theoretical. The tests are working, the satellites are launching, and adversaries are watching nervously. They call it Golden Dome, and it is already under construction. For 40 years, the dream of a true missile defense shield has remained exactly that, a dream. Reagan proposed it in 1983. The technology was not ready. The Soviet Union collapsed before it could be built. Programs came and went, billions spent, little deployed. America maintained a limited missile defense optimized only for rogue states and accidental launches. Peer adversaries. The strategy was deterrence through mutual assured destruction. But the world changed. Russia deployed avant-garde hypersonic glide vehicles traveling at Mach 20. China tested fractional orbital bombardment systems, hypersonic cruise missiles, maneuvering re-entry vehicles, weapons specifically designed to evade traditional missile defenses. The old equation no longer worked, and so on that January morning, the executive order was signed. The Iron Dome for America, later renamed Golden Dome. Not a political gesture, not a study, a direct order to the Department of Defense. Build a next-generation missile defense shield capable of protecting the entire United States from ballistic, hypersonic, and cruise missile attacks. The scope is breathtaking. Israel's Iron Dome protects 21,000 square kilometers. Golden Dome must protect 19 million square kilometers. 400 times larger. Not against short-range rockets, against intercontinental ballistic missiles traveling at 24,000 kilometers per hour. Against hypersonic glide vehicles that maneuver unpredictably through the atmosphere. Against cruise missiles flying low to avoid radar. Against drone swarms, against everything. May 2025, Trump makes the formal announcement. 3 years to completion. $175 billion. General Michael Getline of the Space Force appointed to lead the initiative. Not a study group, not a planning committee. A direct reporting program manager with Senate confirmation. This is real. The architecture is revolutionary. 4 defensive layers surrounding the continental United States, Alaska, and Hawaii. Space layer, upper layer, underlayer, surface layer. Each optimized for different phases of missile flight, each capable of independent action. Together, an integrated kill chain from launch detection to terminal intercept. The space layer is the crown jewel, a constellation of satellites equipped with advanced infrared sensors. Not the old space-based infrared system from the Cold War era. That system can see the bright flare of a rocket launch, but loses track of the cold warhead coasting through space. Golden Dome satellites track the entire flight. Hypersonic glide vehicles, decoys, maneuvering warheads, everything. These are the hypersonic and ballistic tracking space sensor satellites. HBTSS, April 2025. The first satellite meets all performance targets in testing. It successfully tracks a hypersonic test vehicle throughout its flight profile. This is the sensor breakthrough that makes Golden Dome possible. But tracking is only half the equation. You need shooters, space-based interceptors, small, fast missiles orbiting in low Earth orbit. When HBTSS detects a launch anywhere on the planet, these interceptors maneuver to intercept. Boost phase intercept. Hit the missile while it is still climbing, before it releases warheads, before decoys deploy, when it is most vulnerable. This is the concept the Soviets feared in the 1980s. Brilliant pebbles. Small, smart interceptors in space. Back then, the technology was not mature. Guidance systems were too crude, computing power insufficient, launch costs prohibitive. Now? SpaceX launches satellites at a fraction of Cold War costs. Modern sensors can track a baseball at 1,000 kilometers. AI processes targeting solutions in milliseconds. June 2025, Clear Space Force Station, Alaska. The long-range discrimination radar tracks a live intercontinental ballistic missile representative target for the first time. This massive radar, originally built for ground-based mid-course defense, proves it can provide the precision tracking data needed for Golden Dome interceptors. The test is successful, another building block in place. But Golden Dome is not just space-based. The upper layer includes ground and sea-based systems, Aegis destroyers with advanced radar and interceptors, THAAD batteries positioned to catch missiles during mid-course flight, and the new glide phase interceptor, specifically designed to hit hypersonic glide vehicles during their long glide through the upper atmosphere, the window when they are most trackable, most vulnerable. The GPI program is a joint effort with Japan. Both nations face hypersonic threats from the same adversary. Both need solutions. The interceptor is designed to fire from existing Aegis vertical launch systems. No new ships required, just new missiles, smarter missiles, faster missiles. The underlayer provides terminal defense, Patriot batteries, upgraded interceptors. Point defense for critical infrastructure, military bases, command centers, population centers. Not every missile needs to be intercepted in space. Some can be engaged during their final dive. Multiple layers mean multiple chances to kill. And then the surface layer. The multi-domain defense. This is where Golden Dome integrates with air defenses, where fighters, drones, and ground-based systems provide the final backstop. Where non-kinetic weapons enter the picture. High-energy lasers, high-powered microwaves. The Iron Beam concept applied at scale. Israel is developing Iron Beam to augment Iron Dome. Use lasers against short-range threats. Save interceptor missiles for harder targets. Golden Dome adopts the same philosophy. Directed energy weapons for cruise missiles and drones. Kinetic interceptors for ballistic and hypersonic threats. Match the weapon to the threat. September 2025. General Guetlein completes the blueprint. The reference architecture. Not a concept study, a detailed implementation plan. Satellite constellation size, interceptor quantities, radar placements, launch site locations, budget profiles, timeline milestones, everything needed to turn concept into capability. July through August 2025, the Missile Defense Agency floods industry with contract opportunities. The Golden Dome Shield Multiple Award Contract. $151 billion ceiling, 10-year duration. Request for proposals. Requests for information on radars, interceptors, sensors, ground systems. The acquisition machine activates. This is not business as usual for the Pentagon. The executive order specifically directs acquisition reform. Speed, flexibility, execution. Commercial solutions first. Other transaction authority preferred. Rapid capabilities office processes. Adaptive acquisition framework. Break the traditional linear acquisition structure that has strangled innovation for decades. The scale is staggering. Cost estimates range from $175 billion at the low end to $3.6 trillion over 20 years at the high end. The range depends on constellation size, interceptor quantities, how many layers, how much redundancy, what level of coverage. Critics immediately attack. Too expensive, technically infeasible, will trigger an arms race. Russia and China will build more missiles. The strategic balance will destabilize. The same arguments made against Reagan's SDI 40 years ago. But the world is different now. Russia already has Avangard. China already has DF-17. The arms race is happening regardless. North Korea has nuclear ICBMs. Iran is approaching breakout capability. The threats are real. The technology is mature. The question is not whether to build missile defense. The question is how fast. Late 2028, the first major system test, multiple satellites, multiple interceptors, multiple threats, the full kill chain demonstrated end-to-end. Launch detection, track handoff, intercept solution. Successful engagement. If the timeline holds, this test proves Golden Dome works. But Golden Dome is more than hardware. It is a statement. A statement that America will not accept vulnerability. That technological superiority can be applied to defense, not just offense. That deterrence can be achieved through denial, not just through threat of retaliation. Consider the strategic calculation from an adversary's perspective. You have invested billions in hypersonic missiles. You have deployed them. You have trained your forces. You believe these weapons give you an advantage, a capability to strike American bases, American carriers, American cities with weapons that cannot be stopped. Then Golden Dome goes operational. Suddenly your hypersonic missiles are trackable from launch, targetable throughout flight, interceptable in multiple phases. Your advantage evaporates, your investment is countered. The calculus changes. This is deterrence through defense, not threatening to destroy the adversary, threatening to make their weapons ineffective, to render their investment worthless, to force them to recalculate whether conflict is worth the cost when their best weapons may not reach their targets. Israel has demonstrated this principle. During recent conflicts, thousands of missiles and rockets launched, the vast majority intercepted, minimal damage, the attackers wasted resources, depleted stockpiles, achieved little. The defender emerged stronger. The message clear: your attacks are futile. Golden Dome applies this lesson at continental scale, not defending a small nation against short-range threats, defending the American homeland against the most sophisticated weapons on Earth. Intercontinental ballistic missiles, hypersonic glide vehicles, next-generation cruise missiles, everything. The technology that makes this possible did not exist in the 1980s. Space launch costs have dropped 95%. Satellite sensors are orders of magnitude more capable. Computing power has increased 1,000,000-fold. AI can process vast data streams in real time. Materials science has produced lighter, stronger structures. Propulsion technology has advanced dramatically. Everything Reagan envisioned is now buildable. Not theoretical, not someday, now. And America is building it. There are enormous challenges ahead. Technical risks in space-based interceptors, integration complexities across 4 defensive layers, coordination between military services, acquisition reform in a bureaucracy resistant to change, sustained funding over multiple administrations, international cooperation with allies, arms control implications. But compare the challenges to the alternative. Accept vulnerability. Rely solely on deterrence through retaliation. Trust that adversaries will never launch. Hope that rogue states remain rational. Assume that accidents never happen. Golden Dome offers a different path, a path where American territory is defended, where missile attacks are defeated, where deterrence comes from capability, not just threat, where the homeland is shielded. The critics will continue criticizing. The cost is too high, the technology unproven, the strategic implications dangerous. But the same criticisms were leveled at every major defense program: the Manhattan Project, the space race, stealth technology, precision-guided munitions. Every innovation faced skepticism, and every innovation that succeeded changed warfare forever. Golden Dome has the potential to be the most significant strategic shift since nuclear weapons. For 70 years, nuclear deterrence has rested on mutual vulnerability, on the certainty that both sides can destroy each other, on the balance of terror. Golden Dome breaks that equation. It offers the possibility of defense, of protection, of survival. Not perfect defense. No system is perfect, but enough defense to change calculations, to make attack less attractive, to strengthen deterrence. January 27, 2025 was not just an executive order signing. It was the beginning of a new era, an era where missile defense is not a dream but a program, not a concept but a construction project, not someday but 2028. While adversaries perfect their missiles, America is perfecting its shield. While others build faster weapons, America builds smarter defenses. While competitors race to make strikes inevitable, America races to make defense possible. This is the American way. When faced with a threat, develop a solution. When challenged by a weapon, create a counterweapon. When vulnerability appears, engineer protection, not through retreat, not through acceptance, through innovation. Golden Dome represents the ultimate expression of that philosophy, the most complex defensive system ever conceived. 4 layers: space, air, and ground, kinetic and non-kinetic, sensors and shooters, detection and destruction, all integrated, all coordinated, all focused on one mission: defend the homeland. By 2030, if the program succeeds, America will possess something no nation has ever had: a true missile defense shield, protection against the full spectrum of aerial threats, a deterrent based not on threat of retaliation, but on capability to defend. China can build more hypersonic missiles. Russia can deploy more glide vehicles. North Korea can develop more ICBMs. And Golden Dome will track them all, engage them all, defeat them all. This is what strategic superiority looks like in the 21st century. Not the biggest arsenals, not the fastest missiles, the best defenses, the smartest systems, the most capable shield. 40 years after Reagan proposed Star Wars, America is building it. Not with 1980s technology, with 2025 technology, not as a research program, as a deployment program. Not someday, now. The shield is rising, Golden Dome is under construction, and the age of vulnerability is ending. Welcome to the age of defended America.